Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Someone says, what's the future? Vaughn Coleman.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Vaughn Coleman, and let's see. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring in Michael. Let's what do I want to play? I'll play
Me? Gungaga.
What's going on? How you doing?
Look, man, I just gotta say I'm honored to be brought in with Zach.
Yeah, he's
Like
a good boy.
Go. He's great.
Yeah. All right, let me go ahead and I'll put the Embrace link in. You can put the Embrace on FMC. I'm gonna put that in chat, and then we'll get rolling. Now you haven't been drafted into the shipping wars, have you?
Wait, what?
The shipping wars. You know about my experience with that, right?
No.
I've never told you about. Oh my god, this is a great story.
Is this the whole like shenanigans where like they try to ship Rini with people and stuff?
No. We're not talking that. I'm talking fictional shipping wars, which is more important.
Oh, okay. No,
I did a video essay on Final Fantasy VII, where I basically said Cloud and Tifa end up together. It's a love story, and then the Aerith fans got very angry at me.
Do you want to know something crazy, man? I don't even like Aerith that much.
Ooh, dude, see, you get crucified on Twitter.
So when Final Fantasy VII came out, when I was a kid, I didn't have a gaming console. So like I had friends, like I was familiar with the story of Final Fantasy VII, but my actual like first gameplay of me playing Final Fantasy VII was actually Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Ooh, really? That's
yes. And I really enjoyed the game. I hated it. Like Aerith annoyed the shit out of me. The entire game. Like it just frustrated me. She was like, it was always like, oh, life's hard. It's like, dude, you're in like a politically funded asylum. Like you're in like a little paradise in the middle of the slums. And
yeah, but she has no freedom.
I mean, yeah, but she has food.
Yeah, but the people that killed her mom are basically like controlling her life. That's pretty
understand.
bad.
Like
that's very bad.
It's not to say that like she's wrong for having anything. It was one of these things that by compared to literally everyone else in the support cast, it was like you don't really have that much to bitch about.
I think she has a lot. What's up, good stuff? How's it going? What does FMC stand for? It stands for Fund My Comic, because we are funding a comic. But before we do it, I want to talk about myself for a second. More specifically, Phenomenova. So I have the books in hand. Actually, I'll show you a copy real quick.
Hell yeah, man! I'm looking forward to getting mine.
Yeah,
you're gonna be one of the first people to be featured on my new segment.
Awesome.
I'm gonna be doing I'm working on some scripts right now, but I'm actually gonna be starting up a show called Indie After Action Review. So like the whole point is that like I wanted to get back to doing the review thing for a while. And I love one of the few things I got out of my time from the Army was the after action report that you do at the end of a mission, where it's like you establish what happened, and then you do three sustains, 3 improves, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's just a really easy way to do a constructive to get constructive feedback on a mission. I'm applying it to comic reviews.
That's
and so
awesome.
Phenomenova is going to be one of the. I've got a couple of other books that I've got on there, but as soon as I have it, I will be doing your book as well.
That's awesome. I'm excited. I want your honest feedback. Issue 2 is almost done. And then 3, I was actually revising 3 because 3 is my big one where I'm gonna have all my like the villain team. So we have our main villain Dark Cloud, and he has a team, and then you have Phenomenova. You actually get to see the full Phenomenova team in an issue. 2. This cover is outdated, by the way, on my mailing list. I never did it. Need to heckle Nander into another fabled offering. I do or Nander. Sorry, yeah, Nander. Yeah, great guy. Love that guy.
He is outstanding. He is such a talented writer, and it pisses me off because I'm like, dude, you're barely old enough to drink, and you're like writing like this. Oh,
yeah, he's good, man. It's just a lot of work, and I could just tell he's just the way he talks. I'm like, this guy is someone who knows his stuff. I have to back Manchild still. I have to remember that.
Yeah, please, because like that book is at like what 90% funded. There is no reason why any indie creator that was able to manage a freaking Steve Epting cover should be struggling to cross a finish line.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm in agreement with you there, man. Yeah, what have we got? 46 hours to go. All right. Yeah, I have to still back this book. I got to remember that. All these covers look great. I'm going to go ahead and just drop that link. We're not even promoting it, but I'm just going to drop it anyway in chat. Nander. But also I have I'm not sure if I've told you about this, but Allie and I are doing a anthology book.
I have heard about this. I was considering submitting, but I don't. So horror is a thing that I enjoy like watching and everything like that. I don't like it. The Embrace is a very rare instance of me dipping my toes into it. I think I've written one other horror story before, and I don't have like any art produced for it. So like I was like, I'm not going to just submit a script to you guys.
Well, it's a short story is what it is, not comics. But so you go ahead and here's the thing. You could also do poems, and you could do artwork for anyone that wants to submit just scary artwork. Let's see, submission form. So make sure you do that if you're interested. I've been getting better at prose writing, and just when I was like getting ready to write the next one, I was like sandwiched between 2 and 3 ideas, and then I got editor notes on issue 3, and I'm seeing issue 3 because my whole thing is as long as I make enough money, I want to be able to go into the next issue. As long as I can break even on Phenomenova, or at least close enough.
That's the way to do it. Like at the end of the day, like I think that the big thing is that the more volume that you have of any given series, the more that you're able to put out there, the more you're able to bring to conventions, the more you're able to get into stores, right? Because like that's the other big thing is, you know, you look at distribution, right? And like Diamond wants you to be able to put a book on the shelf every month.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have the volume, you're not going to be able to do it. And the way that you have some of these guys producing their crowdfunding books, like it's too, like you're looking at, before you can hit distribution, you're looking at like at least 5 years. So like if you're able to just keep pushing them out, and maintaining the quality and what have you, have a much bigger chance of attracting a distributor, or even partnering up with a larger imprint to act as effectively a parent arm to get you into direct market distribution.
I'm in agreement with you. I mean, I think because I want a body of work, you know, and that's why as soon as I was done with Phenomenova, I'm like, you know what, let me just do something I can write. So I have my scripts for the first 8. And now I'm like, okay, I'm in like a weird phase. I'm like, I got to go back, touch up issue 3, touch up issue 4, and then, touch up 4, and then,
that's
back to horror. I feel like I haven't gotten to enjoy much entertainment this month, but that's okay. I've been busy. I had New York Comic Con.
How was that, by the way? Looked like you had a good time.
Yeah, man, I did. It was a fun show. And I'm excited. I hope the table next year. I really do. What's going on, Brian? Yeah, I'm hoping a table next year. The prices are, listen, it's going to be harder for someone like me to get in. What's going on, Pixel Trader? That needs to be gone to. Exactly. I want to go to a lot of conventions, especially once I have my book out. I'm actually concerned I didn't print enough of issue 1, but that's the thing. If I'm sold out and then I get like a little too much of a good time. Yeah, there was one incident where I did have to get helped back to my hotel room by a kindly couple. And I don't, let me find the DM. I have the DM of them telling me the story, and they showed me a picture of me passed out drunk in my room. They dropped my drunk ass off, and I'm dressed as Cloud Strife because it was a cosplay costume.
Nice.
Let me find it.
That's great. That's what you want.
It's not what I want, but I woke up in the morning to a siren. And I was like, oh, I don't remember being.
I don't remember how I got.
Here it is, right here. That's me. That's the picture they took.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I have only been blackout drunk once in my life, and I looked way worse than that. So you're doing okay.
Yeah. Well, there were parts of the night I looked worse. I missed doing cons so much. The last one was East Coast Comic Con before the lockdowns. I actually started really hitting cons, funny enough, like after the lockdowns.
Brian, like straight up, that's like you should. My big thing that I'm trying to do here for the next year is actually get into the convention scene. I did my first parking lot convention here this past weekend, and that was a lot of fun. Like, it didn't make gangbusters or anything, but we made back our table costs and brought in a little bit extra for profit. But the big thing is getting a chance to actually, interact with fans and talk about your books and push it. It was such a good time.
Mm-hmm. Doug209 was asking if those were skinny jeans. Sorry, not to interrupt. They were, because I didn't feel like wearing the Cloud. I have the Cloud ones that are baggier, but I didn't feel like wearing them that day because I had to work half the day. So Radiant Jake did see me in my Cloud costume. They were just kind of like, they'd seen it on stream before, so it wasn't really much of a. She was like, "This what you're going for today?" I'm like, "Yep." But so anyway, because people are seeing me out of context because I forget I'm in the costume sometimes. So I'm taking pictures and people are like, "Vaughn, why are you in a sleeveless turtleneck?" I'm like, guys, I'm a popular character. But yeah, I was wearing a skinny jean. I was Cloud with skinny jeans. That's what I was wearing. Yeah. All right. I've only been drunk once. I don't like to drink dinner. I'd rather be the designated driver. I get it.
I mean, that's fair, Pixel. I'm never one to get like drunk. Like, I generally I enjoy having a beer or two, but I generally don't like getting intoxicated. I have only ever been blackout drunk once. And that was like, I was about to deploy, and I told all of my friends that I grew up with, I was like, okay, anybody who wants to buy me a drink, I will not say no. And so, like, I had a lot to drink, and that was a night that I will not talk about on the stream.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I remember bits and pieces. Like, I do remember getting into the room, kind of. They left me an energy drink, which is very nice. But yeah, so let's talk about what we actually were here to talk about, the Embrace. So this is a superhero. Would you say it's a horror story at all, or does it have just horror?
There's definitely elements of horror to it. I mean, you've got the very nature of it lends itself very well to horror. You've got a dad whose murdered son's ghost has come back and is acting as his superhero costume, right? Mm-hmm. Like there's absolutely elements of horror to this.
Yeah.
But I think that, like any good story, that's not the only thing it relies on. The Embrace has a lot of heart and everything like that. And so, like, would I consider it horror? No, it's very much more of a superhero book. There are times where we dip our toes, though. Like, mm-hmm. We've got the villain Strangle, who's absolutely horrifying, and you have the Embrace's first clash with Strangle is in this book, and it gets dark, right? But like that's the way a superhero book should go, is when they go up against their villain, that's when it starts to get intense. and you don't know if they're going to come out on top. Like, you do, because ultimately the hero's journey is the hero's journey, right? But in that moment, when you're watching them, you're like, oh man, how are they going to get out of this? And that's what you do. And so in that instance, yeah, like, you know, when Strangle comes into this book and he's fighting the Embrace, it's going to be scary.
Yeah, I mean, I like having a villain that you're afraid of. I think that's always crucial. And that was one of the things that was like, because you want, you know, writing an imposing villain is pretty difficult. And I actually think that there's just a lot of great elements of storytelling that you can find in horror. You know, a lot of people equate it to schlocky stuff, and definitely there's a lot of stupid stuff in horror, but I think that there's also so much good you can pull from it.
Horror is one of those things where there's a you can have a corny, like, there are plenty of corny horror writers. There are dimes a dozen. But when you get a good horror writer, they become like a household, name author, right? Like, because that's the thing, is like, horror is one of those things that it's universal.
Yeah.
Right. We all have fear, whether we'd like to admit it or not. And so if you have a writer that is actually able to tap into that primal emotion and capture it, they become legendary. I mean, you think about it like this. I would be willing to wager that most people have at least heard the name Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Like I would be willing to say that most people know who Stephen King is. Most people know who Edgar Allan Poe is.
Yeah.
And you look at all of that and all of the things that the big thing that every single one of those people has in common is their element was horror. You can go and down a list of hundreds of movie directors that are just as capable, just as talented, writers as well, from all sorts of different genres, and they don't stand out. But those three names right there are iconic because they are horror writers that, without poo-pooing on horror, quote unquote, elevated the genre.
Yeah.
Right. Like really tapped into something with their work. And so, yeah, I do think it's like, it's one of those things that when you do horror right,
yeah,
you're really actually able to scare someone. That shit sticks with someone, with people. And generally horror themes are way more universal than I think people would care to admit.
So what do you think makes horror, like, what do you think are the scariest elements of horror?
The ultimate thing that makes for a good horror story, I feel, is how you depict the unknown. Because at the end of the day, that is the key to what is horrifying to people, right? You think about, oh, why are people scared of the dark? Because you can't fucking see, right? Like, you can't see. You don't know what's out there. That's the scary part. Like, at the end of the day, you close your eyes to go to sleep every night. It gets dark when you do that. But the aspect of being conscious, being awake, and seeing nothing but pitch black, that's horrifying because you don't know what's out there. You don't know what's going to go bump in the night.
Right.
And that's what sets the imagination going. And so to me, it's how the horror writer is able to tap in to the unknown and create something with it that, you know, sticks, right? Like, because like that's the whole thing, that's the whole dynamic that makes it work, is like the suspense element of horror, of building up the unknown to the audience for the reveal.
Absolutely. I think it's that's definitely like a big part of it. And I think another thing too is because I was thinking about that. I was planning out, because one of the ideas I've bouncing around in my head, I've had this idea for a slasher movie for years. And it was this in-depth backstory and motivations I kept coming up with and I'm wondering, I'm like, well, how much do we want to know and how much do we not? Because, you know, with Michael Myers, when I didn't watch the Rob Zombie one, I had no interest because apparently they just give his whole backstory. I'm like, that just destroys. that just destroys it because it's also tough because normally like a sign of good writing is often when you know your story inside and out. And so depicting the unknown, I feel like is difficult because it's almost like you're going against it's almost like you're going against a lot of what you're supposed to do. And I think you have to show restraint.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's the whole thing of like when you look at Psycho, right? Like when you look at the iconic scenes from Psycho, you've got, you never actually see the people get stabbed, right? You see the moment where the killer pulls back the curtain, you see the scream, and you see the knife rising up and falling down, but you never see anything else. And it's all sound. It's all that allowing the imagination of the reader to unfold. Miranda, I think, put a good thing in the chat. She's like, I think it's what your mind can create. It's that people are more terrifying than monsters. I think that there's definitely an element to that. And I think that there's definitely something to be said for that, where you can, as popular as it is to create a monster for a horror thing at this point, some of the more well-known horror stories that have come out here in the last couple of years have been about how humans are monsters. And even when you look at like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the whole point of that book is really, who is the monster? Is it the creation of Victor, or is it Victor? Who is really the bad guy in it? So,
absolutely. And then Pixel Trader said the most horrifying thing for me is the thought of being injured in a way that I'm trapped in my body, fully conscious and unable to communicate. That is terrifying too.
Yeah. Somebody's channeling Johnny Get Your Gun.
I don't know if I know that one, but you know what is another thing that scares me?
So have you ever seen Metallica's music video 1?
I actually have never seen. I've listened to that song countless times.
Okay,
I never watched a lot of music videos. Funny enough, I love movies. I love music.
So that song is about a book called Johnny Get Your Gun. It's about a guy who went off to the First World War and he got blown up by a mortar, and so he lost all of his limbs. It messed up his face, so all he can do is hear. And so he hears all of the doctors around him. He hears all the nurses around him, horrified by his appearance, and he can't do anything about it. And he just wants to die. And so like that's why you've got the that's what that song is about. It's about Johnny Get Your Gun.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know it was based on a book. I knew the story behind it though, that it was one guy. Yeah.
Great book. That one's less of a horror story, but there is definitely an element of horror there. Like it was more of a commentary on the nature of war and how the veterans of the war were kind of cast aside, especially after the First World War. Miranda's in the chat booming the freaking lyrics for one.
Yeah. Darkness imprisoning me. Yeah, no, I love it. It's a great song. Yeah, I mean, I think I love the intertwining horror with other things too. I think that's one of the things that we like most. But what are your favorite horror stories? Because I wanted to do something spooky themed for this episode instead of a traditional, interview.
Oh man. It's technically not horror, I would say, but it is my favorite Edgar Allan Poe story, which is Cask of Amontillado.
I don't know if I know that one.
So the whole premise of Cask of Amontillado is you have this guy who is linking up with an old friend, and we'll put friend in asterisks. He's an old acquaintance, and this guy has screwed over the main character in some way. You never find out what exactly he did, but we know that whatever this guy did pissed off the main character so much that he has decided that he's going to kill this man.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're at effectively the masked carnival in Venice, right?
Mm-hmm.
and he's getting this guy drunk on Amontillado wine and is luring him down into a cellar until they get to the bottom, and he knocks the guy out. And when the guy comes to, he's chained up into this little antechamber where the main character is piling up bricks and mortar and is locking him down there. And the other reason why this is one of my favorite stories is because there's a real world component to it. Because Edgar Allan Poe, when he was a cadet at West Point, they were doing some mission down in like Boston, and he was with they were like with an MP unit, and they found this like walled off area in this like old abandoned house, and he found a guy's body chained up in there.
Wow! Ew, oh my god! So we changed the guy up. Is basically
he changed the guy. He changed this drunk guy up that screwed him over, and he walls him off. And so like the end of the book is him, like the end of the story is him walking away, and he can still hear the guy screaming for help and like scratching at the wall. Like Cask of Amontillado is great.
That is terrifying.
Love that book. It's very freaking good. Edgar Allan Poe is awesome. I also really loved Fall of the House of Usher. It was very funny because when Netflix did the Fall of the House of Usher TV show and they released the trailer, I was initially livid because I was expecting them to do it like just like the book, where it's like this, antebellum 1800 era New England story. And it was all taking place in the modern day. And I was just like, oh my God, I was so livid. And then I had like 4 or 5 friends tell me, like, no, like you really need to watch.
What was it?
Fall of the House of Usher.
Okay.
And so Netflix had adapted it. But what they did was, rather than just tell the whole, like a start to finish Fall of the House of Usher, they used the House of Usher storyline as a vehicle to do adaptations of some of Poe's greatest stories. And it was awesome.
Right.
I was completely blown away.
I'll have to look into that. So I'm curious. Okay, so we've talked about, because that's so it sounds to me like you like the classics. Was that Hugh Jackman? It was goodish, I think. That was wild. The Lovely Bones also fantastic. I grew up in Maine, so just live afraid. Poe's prose is unmatched. Yeah, I got it.
Good.
I've read Telltale Heart when I was in like middle school, and I haven't been back to it.
Telltale Heart's another very good one. I think that it's like the obvious one that people go for if you go for Poe. Because it's probably his most well known, probably because like most schools read it at some point.
Yeah, I read it in school.
But like my personal favorite is Cask of Amontillado. I love that story. Yeah, like I very much enjoyed those growing up. I read Pit and the Pendulum, which is his collection of like horror stories. Fall of the House of Usher. I want to read. It's like, I think that they've published the fragments of it, but he was writing a full-on novel that I want to read at some point. Like they have like a manuscript of like the part of it that he wrote, and I want to read that as well. But I haven't had the chance to yet.
Gotcha. I'll look into that. So you pull from a lot of different writers then. I mean, obviously you've got Poe and everything. So, this man is an intellectual. You should make sure you back his book. And it looks like we have only one haunted cover. Tell everyone about this haunted cover.
Well, so we have more than one haunted cover left. We've sold one on this campaign, is probably what you read. We sold 25 on the previous campaign.
Oh, gotcha.
So of 50, we've sold 26. Prisoners. I don't think I've seen that one. I do
Oh,
like
Prisoners is amazing. That is a good one.
Note to self: if Oden invites you to check out his basement remodel, just say no.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Prisoners is amazing.
My favorite, speaking of like horror themed stuff, my favorite Hugh Jackman movie in that vein is a movie he did with Christian Bale in the early 2000s called The Prestige. And if you have not seen The Prestige, it's a Christopher Nolan movie. It's fantastic. It is probably my favorite Nolan movie ever made. Like it's not objectively his best, but it is my personal favorite.
I don't think I've seen. Yeah, I haven't seen The Prestige.
It's very good. It's about these two warring magicians. One of them being played by Christian Bale and the other one being played by Hugh Jackman, and they're both trying to destroy each other's career and one up the other. I adore that movie. And the twist at the end, I was just like, what the fuck?
All right. I'll have to check that one out. Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. That's been good. That sounds really good. But so you got 25, and is there going to be more on like a Kickstarter version?
Yeah, so like we're going to be doing the Kickstarter. These will be available throughout. It's a limited glow-in-the-dark edition cover. The price point on the Indiegogo was initially at $50. Then we sold half of them, and the price point went up to $70 because we have less than 25 left. Yeah, like it's very exciting. All of the covers will be signed and numbered by Shelby Robertson. Very excited to get this out to people.
That's good sales too, selling that many. We got the cover D, so everything comes with the digital. So it looks like we've got, of course, the that Eater Messias, and he did. I was looking up Spider-Man Last Hunt.
Yeah, he did great work on that.
What is, because it's not Craven's Last Hunt? It's another Craven story. It's very much like, hey, we're trying to tap into that, but like it was one that they did 3 years ago. Messias, the Lost Hunt. I just
I missed. Okay,
yeah.
Point is,
okay.
Spider-Man artist.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I love Craven.
So Nandor apparently just announced that if Man-Child funds, there will be another Fates offering. So go do Fabled Offering. Please go do that, because Fabled Offering might be the best book he's fucking written. And that is already at a high bar, because Nandor's written some good stuff. Seasons, every volume of that has been fantastic so far. But like, I got to the end of Fabled Offering, and I hit up Nandor, and I was like, "This is what happened, right? Like, I'm not tripping. This is what happened." And he goes, "Yes." And I go, "Well, first off, fuck you." like that is way too good.
Yeah, dude's a genius. Dude is a genius. Yeah, I gotta share some of my stuff with him. I should really talk to him more.
Dude, he is a really good dude to talk to, bounce ideas off of, and he's super amiable. I really like. He's just a really nice guy.
Very easy to get along.
And that's the other thing that's frustrating, because you're like, man, like you're this talented, and then you're not a pretentious dick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like a lot of talented writers in like the writing community in particular, it's like there are a lot of us that are just absolutely pretentious assholes that will like just poo-poo everything that you try to say to them. But
yeah, no, it's I haven't hit my pretentious writer phase, I don't think. I don't want to, so I won't.
I certainly hope that I haven't. Like, I'm sure that there are some people who go, "Oh, that Oden guy is just a pretentious fuck. Listen to him rant about all this crap."
Yeah.
But like, I genuinely just love the craft, and I do want to help people as much as I can.
Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely. There's always something we can learn, and it is always leveling up. Even just the way he talks in the afterword is just he knows his stuff. So Shelby cover looks great. Every cover here is fantastic.
Yeah, and that Bancroft cover just got its upgrade.
Oh, nice.
Because so like the funding, the goal for that was $12K. So we technically hit that before we funded, because we had raised a little over 11 grand, 11,200 on the Indiegogo. So now that is a rainbow holofoil cover.
Yeah, nice. And then we got this one right here.
Yep.
The rainy cover right here.
Yes, so good. And
And
then main cover by Dean James, your biggest fan.
yes, Dean James. Love that guy. Incredible. No, his cover is really great. I might want to get another cover. I don't know which one.
Well, and what if this helps out at all? Since you backed out on Indiegogo, if you back that Shelby cover, you get free shipping.
That is a really good cover.
Like,
I hate that, because I did unfortunately support Dean James when I got this cover, which is unfortunate, but it had to be done.
well, hey, back the Shelby cover on this one, so that way you get the free shipping, and then when we do the Kickstarter, you can back the other covers that you like.
All right, I might just have to do that.
Just saying.
You're making a good choice, and it's $20 too. Look at that, it's $5 less. Which that $5 does go, it does go somewhere. So that is why it's just I don't know. I listen, as a man who did $20, I respect it. A man who did $20 books. How many pages is this book again?
56 pages of story. So when you include the covers and graphics and everything, it'll be around 64.
Nice. Yeah, it looks great. Looks great.
Dean's crushing it, man. He is working his ass off on the 2-page. Like, there's a 2-page spread in this book where like Dean was like, throw anything that you want at me, like I can draw anything. And I was like, all right, man. And
did you tell me to draw?
I threw him a doozy. Like this, there's a 2-page spread with a giant firefight in a cityscape, and like Dean is going as meticulous as he possibly can, and like he's crushing it. It looks really good, but like it's very funny because he's just like, fuck you.
Well, he asked for it.
Yeah.
Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, Dean. That's all I gotta say. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. All right, so that's great, man. These covers all look great, and the book itself looks great too. So I have a question now for you. What are your favorite horror movies? Do you have any?
Ooh, favorite horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. Man, I wish it was shows, because that would actually be like way easier for me to narrow it down.
Well, give me some of your shows then. Let's just hear it.
I really like the Haunting series that they did on Netflix. That was done by the same guy who did the Fall of the House of Usher show, which is Haunting of
Hill House. Is that it?
Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor. I love both of those.
I think actually one of my, like, I've been finding out through creepypastas, but one of my favorite writers worked on Haunting of Hill House, I'm pretty sure. C.K. Walker.
Nice.
She goes, but her real name is something else. Let me double check, because let's see. Oh, the Newton brothers composed this? Man, they do everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rebecca Klingel. That's her real name. Yeah. C.K. Walker. I don't know why she went by C.K. Walker.
The writing on both of those shows is fantastic, and I adore them. Penny Dreadful was awesome. I loved it. The first series, not City of Angels, I couldn't get into it. I tried so hard, and it had such a good cast. Like you have failed greatly if you have Natalie Dormer and Nathan Lane in a show and they're both like lifeless. Then Nightmares and Dreamscapes, which was like an adaptation of a bunch of Stephen King short stories that came out in like the early 2000s.
Nightmares and Dreamscapes. I don't know if I know that one.
It was really cool. Like they were just like a collection of short stories. Also, honorable mentions: Guillermo del Toro's Matchbox. What is it? The House of Horrors that he just did. Why am I blanking on what it's called? Oh, it's very good. But I'm trying to think of some good horror movies. I really like freaking. Why am I blanking on its name? It had Leonardo DiCaprio in it, set in an insane asylum.
Shutter Island. Shutter Island.
Shutter Island.
Sorry, I was thinking of TV shows. I was like, wait a minute, that's
I'm trying to think of some good horror movies.
That is a great one.
I love Shutter Island. It was fantastic. Man, it's great, but I love I had a blast with it. It came out when I was in high school.
What did?
Devil's Rejects.
I don't know if I know that one.
It's a Rob Zombie film. It's part of his it's the sequel to House of a Thousand Corpses.
All right, that's on my list. Pet Cemetery, Dream Warriors. Yes, Dream Warriors. Cat's Eye, Maximum Overdrive. I have not seen. American Werewolf.
Silver Bullet's fantastic, and Stephen King's Cycle of the Werewolf is, in my opinion, his best horror book.
Is Silver Bullet based on Cycle of the Werewolf?
Yep.
Then why isn't it called that?
Because I can't remember exactly why, but they changed the name to Silver Bullet.
Oh, that's interesting. All right. Yeah, I have to read some Stephen King. I've seen.
If you have not read Cycle of the Werewolf, it's amazing. It's like, and the movie is a pretty much direct adaptation. I would be hard pressed to find any discrepancy, but the artwork in Cycle of the Werewolf, because it's like it's prose, but it has occasional illustrations.
Ooh.
And like the illustrations are top notch. I can't remember who he had for that.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Let's see. Dream Warriors is, I think, better than the original. I'm going to say that. I don't know if it's a hot take. Cat's Eye, I have not seen. Drew Barrymore. James Woods. Okay. Yeah, I have not seen that one.
It was illustrated by Bernie Wrightson, which tells you everything.
Ooh. Can handle J Horror Audition. What's J Horror Audition? Pumpkinhead?
Bro, Pumpkinhead's fun.
I haven't seen Pumpkinhead. Dude, I haven't been watching a lot lately. The Fly I have not seen, but They Live I have seen. Love They Live.
I've seen The Fly. That was one of the first horror movies I ever watched when I was a kid with my brothers, and that shit gave me nightmares for like a week.
Let's see. Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of horror lately. I've been writing and stuff. Too much time on socials, but the problem is that it actually does help me. Like all the stuff I do, like you got it. Building that following is a lot of work, guys.
100%.
Like that 700, I had to spend. There were a lot of links, to get on that mailing list, but yeah, 700 is no joke.
I had 600 on the Embrace 2 mailing list for the Indiegogo. So I get it.
Wow. I gotta 600. That's really good. Holy crap.
Yeah. Like I wish we had gotten more of a conversion, but like the sad fact is that we were supposed to launch that book last year. And then I had, life got in the way.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
I get it. I had things I had to make a priority instead.
I'll have to look into it. But
the Japanese don't fuck around with their horror.
No, they do not.
Oh my god.
I watched Lake Mungo recently. I'm not sure if you've seen that. It
I have not.
was good. It's sad, but it's good.
I think that some of like that's one of the things. So a lot of people who watched Haunting of Bly Manor did not like it because they're like, it's not as scary as Hill House. And I'm like, it's not, but it's a different type of horror. It's way more like it's way more Edgar Allan Poe, where it's like, yeah, there's horror, but there's also this undercurrent of sadness. Like it is a tragedy because like all of these figures are all tragic in one way or another. And so like there is this somberness to Bly Manor that I loved. And it was funny because when that came out, I was like, I desperately want these guys to do Fall of the House of Usher. And then sure enough, they're the ones that did the TV show. And it was very frustrating initially seeing them not do it as a period piece. But then I was very happy with how they handled it. It was very good.
Gotcha. I'll have to check it out. I'm adding these stuff from the chat in my watch list. Night of the Comet. Dude, I have to like actually sit down and watch some movies. But those 2 hours, man, I'm not as good at it.
Good blend of sci-fi and horror. Dark City with Rufus Sewell.
Dark City. Is that the Sam Raimi one?
I don't know if no, that's Darkman.
Oh, okay. Well, Dark City is on my list.
Dark City. There is a movie that came out with Matt Damon a couple of years ago that looked like a ripoff of Dark City called The Adjustment Bureau. But like effectively,
Night of the Comet.
I can't even say anything about Dark City. That's a movie that you just gotta watch. Like if you try to say too much about Dark City, you give away why it's special.
Okay, I'll have to. Yeah, Night of the Comet. I have not even heard of, but it's your number one. Wow.
I don't even think I've seen Night of the Comet. Might have to. I'll have to add that to my list. Most of these that they're putting out in the chat I've seen or at least heard of.
Damn. Well, guess I got that to do. All right. So let's see. What is this? Have a great rest of the stream. I'm heading to bed for the night shift. Night shift last night. All right. Vote for Ogden. Explain what is Ogden.
Okay, so this whole thing started because when I first started streaming, I think I was on a show with Bancroft.
No, it was
Bancroft. Mo Biggs had a typo and misspelled my name as Ogden, and I didn't correct him. And so it's stuck ever since.
As Ogden? Nice.
Yeah. So and it's funny because like my family has been getting spam mail for Ogdens our like entire lives. So it's like it's nothing new.
But why add the G though? Like Oden is easy.
I don't know, man. But Ogden is apparently a very common surname. I don't have an answer for you.
That's weird. Probably won't like the 80s cheesiness. I could like it sometimes. It depends. 80s movies, I feel like, have a certain look compared to other decades. I don't know. Something about them.
I'm sure that I'm surprised nobody in the chat threw a temper tantrum that neither of us listed Lost Boys, but that should be up there.
Well,
too.
I haven't seen Lost Boys. And
what?
also, I'm listing. I haven't listed any. I mean, my favorites are like Halloween, the Babadook. I really like. The Thing.
You can't have a good horror list without Bela Lugosi's Dracula.
I haven't seen that since I was a small child.
Okay.
So I went to Ogden Elementary School. There's no way. Is that real?
No,
Ogden?
I'm sure there Ogden is like a very prominent American surname. I don't know what to tell you. There's
because it sounds like a joke. That's a real name.
Yeah, it's a real name, and Miranda, she where she lives. I've driven through, and there's actually like a local politician there named Ogden. So every single time we're driving around her town, there's vote for Ogden for state commissioner or this, that, the other. And And she's always like, look, another sign. And I just start like shaking my head.
That's gotcha. This is Lost Boys. It has vampires, right? No.
Yes. I'm a huge vampire guy as well. Love Anne Rice's The Vampire Chronicles. Interview with a Vampire. The movie is solid. I know like Allie's a huge fan of Anne Rice. So I'm sure me invoking that name it will summon her from the ether at some point.
Yeah. I hear a lot about her. I haven't watched or read anything Anne Rice has done yet, but
she does some pretty solid stuff. Freaking, I loved the Gary Oldman Dracula as well. That's also a really fun one. Let's see. Vampires are very fun. There's like modern media just does them so dirty.
Yeah, no, I like vampires. They're cool. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at stuff. What are they? How are they done dirty in modern media, in your opinion?
I mean, Twilight.
Twilight? No, I'm asking. I figured that's where it was going, but I wanted to.
Like there's Twilight. There's like I think that people have allowed their horniness to overtake it because it's like these are immortal creatures, and so this, that, the other. But like they're monsters.
Yeah.
They're that was one of the things that I really liked about Anne Rice, where she kind of tiptoes the line where like there is a sensual element to her vampire stories. There actively is that. Like, it's not undertone, like it's an active point. But at the end of the day, they're cursed beings. And like each one of them effectively has a superpower called their dark gift. But
is that where Dark Gift Comics comes from?
Probably not. It might be, but every single one of them effectively has an innate ability that that is almost like a double-edged sword. Like it as much as it helps them, it also kicks their ass. And there's just a lot of stuff. I genuinely enjoyed Anne Rice's take on vampires. But like there is not. Yeah. Awesome.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah, because Allie's always tagging him and stuff, so I assume.
So yeah, genuinely enjoyed Anne Rice's take on vampires. But like most people is like Vampire Diaries, Twilight, Last Voyage of the Demeter was so fucking frustrating because like the stuff that was good about that movie was clutch. Like
and
the way that
was bad was really bad.
Was like dumb. Like not even just bad, just like horribly written and asinine.
I believe it.
And it was frustrating because like the whole so have you ever read Bram Stoker's Dracula?
I haven't yet.
Okay, well, as a horror fan, like that's a must. But the whole point of Last Voyage of the Demeter is in the book. Obviously, Dracula is in Transylvania at the beginning, but the whole point, the whole inciting incident is he brings this guy Jonathan Harker to him. He's a banker to help him purchase real estate in London and secure transport over.
Okay.
And so Dracula is transported on a ship called the Demeter, and it pulls into London Harbor. All of the crew is dead when it pulls into the harbor. The captain of the ship is chained to the helm and drained of his blood. And like you find out the cool thing about Dracula is that it's not written as like a linear narrative or anything like that. It's press clippings and diary entries.
Oh, okay, because I've never read Dracula.
Yeah, so you find out about this through a newspaper clipping. And so it's like you're reading like an objective report. It's like, yeah, this ship has pulled in that came from X port, and like all of the cargo is gone, and all of the people aboard the ship are dead. And so like the whole point of the last voyage of the Demeter is it's what happens to that crew. And so you're like if you know anything about Dracula, you go, oh fuck, that's going to be a bloodbath. And all of the Dracula messing up the crew bit was on point. Like the way Dracula himself was depicted in the movie, fantastic. Pretty much everything else, man.
So this is from like a lost gap in the book.
It's not even a lost gap. It's like, so the way that it works is the first couple of chapters are told from the perspective of Jonathan Harker, who is this British real estate attorney that's been brought over to Transylvania to handle the finalization of some real estate being purchased in London proper by some like old this older guy, and the guy that the guy that preceded him went freaking crazy. So they're telling him, hey, be careful while you're over there. And so he goes over and starts experiencing a bunch of weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
In this guy's presence.
And this is is this what Dracula is supposed to look like, by the way?
What?
Like, because I'm seeing in the Demeter, he looks more bat-like.
So, like, Dracula in this, as a vampire, is able to shapeshift.
Right.
He has like a standard human form that he has in the books, but like he's able to turn into a bunch of stuff. He turns into a wolf at one point. There's this really fucking creepy part of the book where he's crawling down the castle wall like a chameleon. Like that shit gave me freaking goosebumps when I read it. But like, yeah, like Bram Stoker's Dracula is fantastic. High recommend for that one. And the time scale says, oh, hey, it's Oden. What's up? Greetings from San Francisco. What's up, time scales? How you doing, man?
How's it going? Yeah, all right. Well, Dracula, are you going to do anything with vampires? Would you ever do anything with vampires?
I would, but I'd have to have the right story for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it's one of those things where it's like, I don't write stuff about shit that I don't care about and I don't have a good story for. Like I've had plenty of people ask me if I'm interested to do this, that, or the other with something in their comics universe or that. This, like, I've even been asked to do crossovers before, and it's always like I need to have the right story.
The right
and a lot of the times you don't.
Yeah. All right. Well, honestly, we've been going for about an hour. Sorry, I want to get back to something, but I wanted to make sure we talk about the Embrace one more time. So tell everyone about it and why they should back it. How much time do we have left to get that free shipping on the Shelby cover?
So you have until pretty much until the end of this week. It closes up on Halloween.
Okay.
We'll be doing a fun closeout stream where we're inviting a bunch of artists to come on and draw the character live, and we'll auction off their pieces at the end. And so very excited to do that. But then why you should back this book? Well, if you like horror, if you like superhero stories, this is a nice like little mashup between the two. It's about a grieving father who teams up with the ghost of his son to take down his son's killers. And together they're this spectral superhero, and his super suit is powered by his son's ghost. It's very exciting. The first issue is this very emotional story driven by a lot of grief and loss, and begins our main character's journey down the path of, acceptance. Mm-hmm. This second book is just action-packed and intense, and puts our protagonist against its series antagonist for the first time, and it's not going to be something you're going to want to miss.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I'm excited. I know I backed it, and I backed it, but I don't know if once was enough. I might want to get that cover.
I mean, you're not going to hear an argument from me from going at it for more than once. I will certainly accept another backing, friend. And we also have beautiful sketch card art available from Rich Ayala, who did these beautiful sketch cards for us. They're great. You can never go wrong with Rich Ayala.
Yeah, Rich. Yeah, I got to get in contact with Rich. Where am I? $80. That's really good. It's a really good deal.
So that's the Strangle one he did, and then right above that, he's got an Embrace one.
Nice.
Yeah, he did one other sketch card, but that sold out like immediately, and it was the Embrace versus Sully Cucaracha from Roach Balls.
Oh, nice. Well, everything here looks great. Everyone, make sure you back this book. Looks fantastic. And anything else you want to say before I head out? I know Lost Boys. Now I'm like stressing because I'm like, I have a few days left. I have so much work I got to do, but I also got to watch Lost Boys.
Yeah, man. Happy Halloween to everybody. And hopefully we catch you on the Halloween closeout of the Embrace 2 on Fun.
So yeah, when is that?
It'll be probably like, I think we're going to probably start it at like 9 and go for like 2, max 3 hours so that it gives people time to draw.
Okay. I can't draw.
I understand you can't draw, but you can still come and hang out.
All right, I'll come and hang out. I'm fucking with you. I'll draw I could attempt to draw. Make everyone else look better. All right.
If you want to, buddy, like if you want to, Vaughn, absolutely.
You don't want that. I'll decrease
this. You don't know, man. Sai from Red Valkyrie sold a
she
piece
has
on
talent
auction.
though.
No, not Shay. Sai.
She might. All right. Well, how is Sai's? I haven't compared.
Sai can barely draw a stick figure.
All right, so it's about my level. Okay.
And they sold a piece on an art auction before for like $20.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we'll see what I can do. So I'm gonna play the trailer real quick.
Let's rock.
I love the logo, dude.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I was like, I'm very proud of how that turned out. And it's funny because everyone goes, "Who did your logo design for the Embrace?" And I go, "I did." And I went,
"Oh, I forgot. I think I was one of those people that asked."
You definitely were. That happened to me on another show. Like, I think it was it was
you should have said it. Michael Ogden did it. That's what you should say. Credit.
Yeah, Michael Ogden. Yeah. A logo designing extraordinaire, just create a complete alias.
Yeah, that's you do. I think I forget who's done it. But there are people that have like made up fake. I think Tommy Wiseau made up like fake producers on his movie.
That
in the
doesn't. That wouldn't
credits.
shock me. The room was
So
fucking awful.
I think
No-
there were like multiple.
Nobody
like,
gave. There's no way anyone gave that man money to make.
No,
the
I
movie.
don't. I think he like wanted more names in the credits, so he just like added some people that just were not real. Pretty sure. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. Make sure you back the Embrace. I definitely want to get. So I'm figuring out which cover. I know it sounds like the Shelby one is the one to get right now.
I mean, it is. It's the spooky season cover, man. It's
It
our
is.
Halloween themed cover. Why not? Go grab yourself a
Gavin,
copy.
grab that Shelby Robertson cover. Support Dave Grohl. All right.
Support better Dave Grohl.
Listen, I still love Dave Grohl.
I do too. I'm just it's just one of those things where with everything going on right now, it's just the easiest way to put it.
Yeah, what's going on with that? I don't know. We'll figure it out. But let's see. On that note, what do I want to play for my outro? Do I have all right, hold on. What do I want to play for my outro? I should really just have an outro. I don't though. Damn, I really don't have anything. I thought I did. I normally just play my trailer for the outro, so I'll just do that.
When the whole world was dragged into World War III, brave men like my father fought on the front lines. And they weren't alone. That was 20 years ago. Now it's up to us to carry on their legacy. And every so often, the earth from which we come gives way for something new, something greater to be born. And with them, even greater threats to face. Phenomenova. For you, Dad. For you.
Hey, sorry about. I just got a call from my mom during that. I gotta make
You're
her
still live.
something. Oh shit! All right. Well, anyway, have a great rest of your night. Yeah, I don't know why it's question. It is nighttime. Bye.